KMP Productions. See more and explore. Well, hi everyone, we are out on the road again, and welcome to the channel. And today I've travelled about 3 counties away from where I live in County Cork to County Galway. We're in West Ireland, in the same province I'm from Connacht. And we are in Galway City. This is the mighty River Corb beside me. I used to live here in Galway, so I know it quite well. And today we're going to be visiting both Galway and the neighbouring town of Salthill. Galway is located in the west of Ireland. It is the Republic's 4th largest city in terms of population, with a population of about 80,000 people. Limerick, Cork and Dublin are the next largest cities in the Republic, though this increases and decreases with the scholastic year in Galway, as there's a heavy university and IT student population in the city. The Aran Islands off the west coast also come under County Galway, and they're very popular with tourists. Galway is in the province of Connacht and is the capital of it. Today we're going to see a small part of the city and the neighbouring Salthill, which is just outside of Galway. Large parts of County Galway are in a Gaeltacht area. This means that Irish is the first language spoken, with English the second. Whilst large areas of the east and northeast of the county and the city itself are officially in the Gaeltacht, English is the spoken language here. To get to true Gaeltacht areas, you need to head out west of Galway city and way into the county. Gaeltacht areas are largely protected to prevent dilution of the language. This includes West County Galway. So if you want to live or build a house in West County Galway in a Gaeltacht area, then you have to be either a native of the area or speak fluent Irish as your first language. It's also interesting to note that in schools nationwide, children are taught what's called Munster Irish. This is with exception to Donegal in the northwest, where Gaeltacht areas, they speak Ulster Irish and has large differences than mainstream Irish because it's more closely linked to Scottish Gaelic. Okay, one of the things about Galway City is quite unique. It's a very bohemian city. Very much big into art and very much big into culture and music as well, particularly traditional music. And if tourists are coming to Ireland and they like the traditional Irish experience, then Galway is certainly one of the places they'll probably go. Like many cities in Ireland, Galway has historic fortification walls. Not much remains. The Spanish Arch, which we're going to get to in just a moment, is part of it. But here in Eyre Square Shopping Centre was built entirely around what remains of the city walls. So here we are beside the Corb, and it's starting to rain, of course. This is an area of Galway called the Spanish Arch. 2 arches. Now they were built a long time ago. Original one built in about the 1500s, I think. They had to be reconstructed in the 1700s, I do believe, because of a tsunami. There was an earthquake in Portugal, and it caused a tsunami in this part of the world and destroyed the walls, so it was rebuilt partially. It's a bit unclear as to why they're called the Spanish Arches. However, Spanish galleons did used to come here and trade during those times, and so it probably relates to where the ships probably used to dock here at the River Corb, and that's probably how it got its name. But beside the Spanish Arches, in fact, a museum, Galway Museum, is actually a free entry to go into. But these walls, this is the other side of the Spanish Arch, formed the main wall that was in Galway City, and you saw me a bit earlier in the shopping centre, and this actually went all the way into the city and joined up with the other wall. So it was quite a big structure at the time. One of the things I've noticed, and this is a bit like Cork, virtually every shop window has a job vacancies sign in it, and particularly in the restaurant trade like this, where they've got "How are you?" Pop in and say "How are you?" if you want to work. The sector in particular, restaurants, etc., have found it very hard to get employees back since COVID. They were earning more money by not working and getting a government payment. This is Shop Street, one of the main shopping streets in Galway, containing a healthy mix of well-known national stores as well as some independent stores like this one, the Treasure Chest. Now, the weather wasn't great on the day that I went to Galway, and there wasn't many buskers on the street, which is what Shop Street is also famous for. There's also small sort of theatrical type of displays and stuff by artists, and it has become a source of controversy recently because the council have recently issued licensing for buskering, and this has caused all sorts of problems. There is a sort of shops versus busker thing going on, in that shops find the noise distracting, particularly those that use, say, amplifiers, etc. So it did create some tensions. This is the King's Head, and established in around 1649, it's very famous in Galway, and it's popular with both tourists and locals alike, but it's by no means the oldest pub in Ireland. I think Sean's Bar in Athlone in County Westmeath holds that record, being established sometime in 900 AD. So, with some of the town centre looked at, it's time to take a quick bus, which is only about 10 minutes long, out to neighbouring Salthill and have a look out into Galway Bay. Those hills that you can see on the far side of Galway Bay are actually in County Clare. Salthill Promenade is about 2 kilometres long and leads to a diving platform, which we'll talk about, but also a more specific wall that many locals know of. So if I'm battling Mother Nature today with the wind, so you'll have to forgive me. So here we are walking along Salthill Promenade just outside of Galway, and here we are in Galway Bay, which is what you see behind me. Now there is a beach there. It's not a big beach, but there's a beach there nevertheless. But we're actually I'm gonna try and capture it if I can. People, when they reach the end of the promenade, do something very unusual. Not that unusual, but it's a bit weird, and you'll see if I can capture it at the end of the promenade. So many locals and people from around the area, when they reach the end of the promenade where the wall is, they kick the wall. Now the reason for this is a little unclear, but a couple of years ago, Galway Salthill Rotary Club put in a collection sort of box in the wall asking you to put some money in and kick the wall, and that money is distributed to local charities. This is the diving platform at the end of the promenade, and it's particularly used on Christmas Day when a plethora of people decide to jump in the sea, mainly for charity on that day. But a while ago I was in Salthill and I took this video because a couple that had presumably just got married decided to have a wedding photo from it. Right, it's now time to go back into the city, where our next port of call is Galway Cathedral. Galway Cathedral sits along the River Corrib on the western side, and it's a Roman Catholic cathedral. Now, it was only recently built. Construction began in 1958 on the site of the old city prison, and it was completed in 1965, and it was one of the last great stone cathedrals to be built in Europe. So now it's time to get serious. What about, says you? Well, it's about hookers. Galway hookers. I've had to record this about 4 times to stop myself laughing. But it is not about those kind of hookers. It's actually about a sailing vessel, a fishing vessel primarily, that was in use over a few hundred years, specifically designed to sail in Galway Bay, which I showed you today in Salthill. In fact, the art piece behind me at the top of Eyre Square is dedicated to their design. In fact, I'll stick a picture of one. In fact, there are some modern ones that people own now, but it's not used for fishing. It's used for sailing displays and things like that. But yeah, if you hear the term Galway hooker, you'll know what it's about. And no, it's not that. Now, normally I get the train pretty much everywhere I can on these journeys, but this time I actually found it quicker to go by bus to Galway. There are a number of reasons for this, but I did get the train back home again. And here's a quick look around Galway station. Galway Station is the end of the line for 2 branches. That's both the Dublin to Galway line, that goes via Athlone in the centre of the country, and the line that goes from Limerick all the way to Galway up the western side of Ireland. The station is a shadow of its former self from many, many years ago, and is a far quieter station now. As you leave Galway by train, you pass over a bridge which goes over Lochatalia, which is the lake that extends from nearby Galway Bay. Thanks for watching the Galway and Salthill video. I only showed you a very small part of the city and some notable areas, but there's plenty more to see. On another day, we'll go and see more of it. I've, as per usual, forgot to do an outro to the video, which is what this is, while I was in Galway. So here I am back in the park in Macroom, which I've done a video on before and was very popular. So thanks very much for watching. Like and subscribe if you get a chance. Just hit that little link at the bottom. And also we're going to do Limerick next, and I haven't been to Limerick in a while. I don't know too much about Limerick, to be honest with you, but we are going to go to the castle there, and there's some fantastic views over the River Shannon, so Limerick is going to be next. Thanks very much to everybody who watches the videos, and your kind comments too. It means a lot. Take care. Bye bye. Keegan Media Productions. See more and explore.